Yes. So where were we? We were at this part of the vernacular press. At 1824, Raja Ram Mohan Roy had protested. It's all there in your book, but I'm giving it on a brief thing. What actually happened? You have to read it part by part and understand and do the question answers. Class 8, no more helping out. The early phase of nationalist movement is from 1870 to 1918, where Raja Ram Mohan Roy was totally propaganda, his political propaganda, education, formation of the nationalist ideology, and mobilization of public opinion. What was happening? So that's why the vernacular presses came out, which again the British tried to stop. Architecture, what happened? The European trading companies established actually their factories in various parts of India. Right. So when there are many factories in various parts of the India, it exposed India to new architectural styles like Gracio, Roman, Scottish Gothic, etc. Buildings type of they were making the Gothic type of buildings or the Scottish type of buildings from England or the Gracio-Roman type of things. The colonial architecture expresses itself through institutional, civic, utilitarian buildings like travelers, bungalows, post offices, railway stations, churches, etc., etc., etc. So obviously, when you're going to have public buildings made and according to your design, that's what you're going to see. If a platform is made like a British platform, if you go to Dalhousie, if you go to Darjeeling, if you go to Howrah station, go and see Howrah station. It's Mumbai, Howrah. You see them. They're all just like British. All they're all still made by the British, and it's still being taken care of. Bungalows, post offices, railway stations, churches. The two areas of building activities. Go to church in Bihar, which I go in Muzaffarpur. That's at the, I forgot the name of the place again. Uh, Chakkar Maidan. Chakkar Maidan, one of the oldest church. You see, it's beautiful. It's made by the British. Still there. Replicas are put inside on the wall, bronze plates are put, who had built the church, who had done it, their names are still there and all that. So it's like that. I'm not telling you that you have to go, I'm just telling you. Because the British will build churches, they will not build temples, right? So it's like that. The two areas of building activities in hill station and in civil lines are the cantonments, reflect British architecture in India in a purest form. Cantonments are the group of their armies, group of their manpower. Hill stations, Dalhousie, Darjeeling, Shimla, Kasauni, Manali, during summers they used to go up to the hills with their staff and their gang and all and used to stay there. They have built places there also for themselves. In hill stations it was possible to build almost exact replicas of English houses since the climate was similar. Pitched roofs were constructed due to the necessity of draining rainwater and snow. The buildings in the civil lines and cantonments had flat roofs and were surrounded by dense trees. The heat of summer in the plain areas was a major factor which influenced the design and they looked like English suburbs. If you go to Calcutta anytime you go to the Dum cantonment, you will come to see houses like that inside jungles and all, nicely made, and the heat is very much safe. The cantonment there, the Delhi cantonment is there, then we have a cantonment in Bangalore, we have a cantonment, I don't know what the places all we have. Kharagpur has a cantonment. So then the the architectural splendors of the colonial cities. What was that? Now Mumbai, which is now which was then Bombay, was given to King Charles II of England as dowry during his marriage to the Portuguese princess. Was given to King Charles of England as dowry during his marriage to the Portuguese princess Catherine of Braganza in 1662. In 1687, the English East India Company shifted its western headquarters from Surat to Bombay. The University of Bombay was established in 1857. In the same year, universities were established in the two other presidency towns of Calcutta and Madras. It was one of the first educational institutions to be established following the Woods Dispatch on Education in 1854. The British East India Company in Madras, Chennai, set up a permanent trading station on the India coastline in the form of Fort St. George in Chennai. It is still there. Fort St. George is not a fort, six in the true sense of the term. It's rather an arbitrary area enclosed of massive stone wall. Massive stone wall. Historical personalities like Elihu Yale, Thomas Pitt, Robert Clive, Lord Cornwallis either lived in or frequented the fort in their days, coming and going. The colonial legacy of Madras is and apparent in the vicinity of the port is occupied mostly by the High Court buildings and several clubs, some of which have existed from the British era in Madras. National art, style, performing arts, all this came into action. The printing press, the architectural structures, splendors of the colonial cities, the monuments, the pillars, these things all came in. Development of the colonial architecture in India. Okay, what was the development during the change of what development came into that time? I'll just give you a brief account of it. The development 1615 to 1947 basically. Colonial era was 1615 to 1947. The British arrival 1615 overthrew the Mughal Empire. Britain reigned India for over 300 years, and the legacy still remains through building an infrastructure that populate their former colonies. The major cities colonized during this period were Madras, Calcutta, Bombay, Delhi, Agra, Manikpur, that is Patna, Karachi, Nagpur, Bhopal and Hyderabad. St. Andrew's Kirk, Madras, renowned for its colonial beauty, the building is a circular in form and is sided by two rectangular sections. One is the entrance porch, the pillars, and you have a place where you entrance porch. The entrance is lined with 12 colonnades and two British lions and motto of East India Company engraved on them. The interior holds 16 columns and a dome is painted with blue decorated with gold stars. Go on the internet, you will come to get the picture. The Victoria Memorial, Calcutta, one of the people just go gaga over it, is the most effective symbolism of British Empire, built as a monument to tribute Queen Victoria's reign. The plan of the building consists of one large cathedral, or rather central part covered with a larger dome. Colonnades separate the two chambers. Each corner holds a smaller dome and is floored with marble plinth. Victoria Memorial, Calcutta. And Victoria Memorial stands on 26 hectares of garden surrounded by reflective pools. If you ever been to Calcutta, go to Victoria Memorial in the evening, you will have life will change. You will say, what a beautiful place. Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, Mumbai, CSTC, which is called the station, railway station. Wow, what a place. The station building is designed in the high Victorian Gothic style of architecture. The building exhibits the fusion of influence from the Victorian Italianate Gothic revival architecture and traditional Indian architecture, I guess. The skyline turrets, those high turrets, pointed arches and eccentric ground plan, are close to traditional Indian palace architecture. The centrally domed office structure has 330 feet long platform connected to a 1200 feet long train shed, and its outline provides the skeleton plan for the building. Wheaty's dome of dovetailed ribs, built without centering, without rods, was considered as a novel achievement of the era. Wheaty's dome, Wheaty station, Victoria Terminal, and one is CST Chhatrapati Shivaji. So I'll keep it till there, and you are going to study the chapter number 9 we have done, 10 we have done. So now you have to read it and do the question answers. I have given you all the basic information. Reading you are going to do, class 8. No more of that sitting and reading with me. You're not children. I am going to give you lectures. Go through your book, find what I said, listen to the video and go through the book. You will get everything out there. Okay. So take care, enjoy your pujas, have fun, and hope to see you soon. Okay. Bye bye and take care. God bless.